we need to talk about Venus. This is Abigail Borello with Sparkle and Shine Guidance, and Venus is doing some things. She's doing some things right now, January 2026, January 6th, 2026 to be exact. And then she's going to be doing some things in October, November. So firstly, let's talk about what's going on with Venus right now. Venus is transforming. She's going from being the morning star, I'm going to talk exactly what that means, into being the evening star. And this is her superior conjunction with the sun. So right now, she's being blasted by the light of the sun. A lot could be coming into consciousness for you around patterning or limitations around going after your desires or magnetizing your desires to you. Past beliefs, past traumas, things like that might be showing themselves to you at this time. Okay, so she's moving from morning star to evening star. What does that mean astrologically? Astrologically, once she gains momentum, she's going to be out in front of the sun, whereas earlier degrees than the sun. And this is important because we're going to be talking about how to know in your chart if you have Venus as a morning star or as an evening star. Because guess what? Knowing this information helps you to understand not only your love lessons in this lifetime, but also your natural disposition around relationships and attracting your desires. All right, so let's get into talking about Venus in your natal chart and what that means. If you have Venus as a morning star position, if you were born with the sun and Venus conjunct right at the same degree, or if you have Venus as an evening star position. So if you have Venus as a morning star position in your chart, Venus is in the earlier degrees to the sun. If you have Venus as an evening star position in your chart, Venus will appear degrees after your sun. Now, something that I want to convey here is that Venus never travels too far from the sun. Venus is the brightest light outside of the sun and the moon. And so she doesn't travel far from the sun. She is within 47.5 degrees of your sun. You'll never see someone's Venus on the complete other side of their chart than their sun. So you're either going to have your Venus behind your sun or in front of your sun. Behind your sun means the earlier degrees. So let's talk about this. If your sun is at 29 degrees Leo, and your Venus is at 1 degree Leo, then you are a morning star Venus representation. If you have your sun at 29 degrees of Leo, but your Venus is at 1 degree of Libra, then you are an evening star representation of Venus. So before I get into morning star position of Venus and what that means for you versus evening star position of Venus and what that might mean for you, let's talk about what it could mean if you have Venus exactly conjunct your sun. Okay, so your Venus is at the same degree of your sun or within a degree or two of your sun. It's very important to understand that you are a more sparkly, bright being. People will be drawn to you like moths to a flame. And in that, the native can often forget or not take into account what they actually want or what they actually desire. And they can be so focused on giving other people what they think that they want from them. So it's very important if you have Venus conjunct the sun to really tap into your desires, really take space and time for yourself. People are going to want a lot from you and a lot of your energy, and it's very important that you save some for yourself. Okay, so you've identified that you have Venus in the morning star position in your chart, which means that maybe it's in the sign before your sun sign, or it's in the degrees before your sun degree in your chart, okay? This means that Venus in the morning star position is a part of who you are, but obviously we're going to want to remember all the other pieces of your chart are important as well. Certain Venus places where it's going to exude this a lot more and others where it's not going to as much. Secondly, trust your intuition. Maybe you feel differently about this, but let's talk about the astrology. So Venus in its morning star position is exuding more of the Taurus qualities of Venus. The Taurus qualities of Venus are what feels good, what tastes good, what looks good. It's very much going and attracting the basics around what is beautiful or Venusian to you. Venus as the morning star position in your chart could mean, just like many actresses and actors that have this position, you don't spend a lot of time in fear around love or your desires. You kind of just feel into it. And it can make other people wonder why you're not more afraid or why you're not more hesitant, because there's this impulsivity or this eagerness or this desire for connection that overrides any fear that you might have. So again, because Taurus energy in the morning star position of Venus energy is much more about feeling good and wanting to feel good, the other things might fall to the wayside. Now, the goal, having the Venus in the morning star position, is to really focus a lot of the love that you give outwardly to yourself, and also gaining wisdom from past mistakes. You know, as I said, Venus is in the morning star position is what a lot of actors and actresses have. And if you look at a lot of actors and actresses, when the attention is not given back to them, or when there's no affirmation, many turn to drugs and alcohol, right? And there's a lot of different reasons for that. But one of the things about Venus in the morning star position is that self-love is so vital for you to really stay in the energy of truest love. You can give love, you can show love, you can dress in a sensual way, you can give a lot of your energy in a sensual way to others, but can you also receive that for yourself? That's the question with Venus in the morning star position. And another name for Venus in the morning star position is Lucifer. And many of us have a negative connotation with Lucifer, but Lucifer is just the light bearer. And with Venus in the morning star position, it's so important to understand that light that you exude, and therefore remembering to also fill your own cup and receive the love that you're giving outward. Okay, let's talk about Venus in the evening star position. So as I said before, we are currently in the superior conjunction with Venus. She is moving from the morning star position into the evening star position. So you might say that we're moving from a period of being in this morning star energy into this evening star energy. So let's talk about what this evening star energy looks like in your birth chart, may look like in your birth chart. Again, lots of other factors come into play, and trust your intuition. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Venus in the evening star position, the ancients said this was the Hesperus representation of Venus. Also, we can think of this as the Libra representation of this. Now remember, Taurus and Libra both represent Venus. Taurus is much more of the feeling, and Libra is much more of the thinking. Both very Venusian, obviously. And so there's this element with this evening star position that is very in the head, and also very much about cautiousness. Maybe some would say a little jadedness. So look and see which one you have, if you have morning star, evening star, and see if this resonates with you. The evening star position carries a lot of fears from the past, can be hesitant, can be slower to move in relationships, money matters, and anything that you desire. You just might take your time more. You might be more cautious. And the work here with Venus as the evening star position, so Venus is the evening star position, the work is in showing the love that you have worked on and developed within yourself to others, not being so hesitant, not being so cautious when it comes to matters of love and money. Now take this with a grain of salt, depending on what you're talking about. I wouldn't necessarily go gamble all your money away. However, notice where the areas in your life are that you are a little bit more hesitant, or you hold your cards closer to you, and see if you can give just a little bit more and be more aware of when you're being overprotective of your heart. If you're like, girl, I'm not an astrologer, guess what? I am, and you can hire me as your 2026 astrologer, or to just do a year ahead reading with you where I can include Venus's position in your chart and what she's going to be doing this year. Also, you might want to look at this and you might just want to know more. And that's a great time to work with me. So reach out. I look forward to hearing from you in 2026.